What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we actually have some very interesting news that just came out today. I want to bring this to your attention because I think this is extremely important with what it's going to do for additional stimulus moving forward. This is actually pretty big, and it is a new bill. Now, for over a month, we have been seeing many lawmakers push for additional provisions, additional stimulus, other stimulus checks, extend the unemployment, enhance Medicare, enhance the child tax credit, extend it permanently so it's always in the tax code. But right now, some lawmakers have been reluctant to really come forward and ask for additional relief to the American people. So today, one Republican actually came forward, which is very big because, number one, he is a Republican. A Republican is coming forward requesting additional relief to the American people. And in his plan, he is proposing $1,000 in monthly payments. Now, this is not just for parents. However, he is actually calling this the parent tax credit. However, this is not just for parents. This is for couples. This is also for individuals. This will range from either between $6,000 and $12,000 per year. So I want to break this down because honestly, this is actually a step in the right direction. Maybe this isn't going to pass. This probably will not pass. But this is a step in the right direction because this is showing that Republicans, or at least some, are willing to negotiate where we move forward with additional relief. So here's what we know. First off, the fourth stimulus check at this time is not really being discussed as a vital piece of legislation. And it's not because it's not needed. It is because a stimulus check is being seen as of right now as not necessary simply because a stimulus check was just passed and sent out to the American people of $1,400. Right before that, about 2 months before, it was a $600 stimulus check. So when you add those two up, about $2,000 in stimulus to the American people. But here's the reason why lawmakers are wanting to rethink their pitch and their approach to stimulus. It is because, as of right now, everyone's calling this a stimulus check. And President Biden and the Biden administration and some Republicans and Democrats are saying, we don't need another stimulus check. We just sent one out. But this is why this parent tax credit that Republican Josh Hawley is proposing, and he put forward this plan today, this is why this is on the right path, because this is going specifically for parents. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I call this a parent tax credit? Why am I putting parents in quotes? It is because this is not just for parents. The way the bill is, or this plan has been put out and laid out in front of us is, this is for everybody. But we're calling this a parent tax credit, excuse me if you're getting tired of the air quotes, but the reason we're calling it that is because they're trying to find a different approach to providing additional relief to the American people. And this is actually fairly big. First off, the infrastructure bill is having a very difficult time right now. And the reason I want to bring this up is because this parent tax credit or additional stimulus checks or an extension of unemployment or enhancement of child tax credits, whatever, everything is supposed to be tied to the infrastructure bill. As of right now, the infrastructure bill is having a lot of issues. Many lawmakers don't support it as it stands right now. Some lawmakers say it's too small. Others say no, it needs to be more targeted. But what we know is either way, more support for the hardest hit Americans is something that all lawmakers are asking for. They all want this included. So let me explain the parent tax credit and how this would benefit you and what this means for additional child tax credits, whether it's for $2,000, $3,000, or $3,600, and what does this mean for our fourth stimulus check, right? Let me break this all down. First off, Senate Republican Josh Hawley is the one that laid out this plan earlier on today, and I wanted to wait a little bit to see if we got some more information on it, which we did. So I want to provide some clarification because I know there's a few videos out there already, and some were missing a vital piece of this information. So Senator Josh Hawley, he wants all couples to receive $1,000 per month, or technically a tax credit of $12,000 per year. He also wants all single filers to receive $6,000 per year, or $500 per month. As of right now, this would be a yearly tax credit. However, what we are kind of hearing, not regarding this, because this is just pretty much new information, what we're hearing regarding some child tax credits is the reason why we provide tax credits as a monthly payment is because those parents get that consistent income every single month, which they can count on. Because a parent that receives, let's say, $300 per month is more likely to spend that $300 per month on their child, as opposed to if they receive $3,600 at the end of the year, they're more likely to only spend a little bit on the child, and the rest would go to something else like paying late payments on bills, paying off debt, buying a new car, something like that. Okay, so that's kind of the philosophy or the thinking behind this. But this would be a $12,000 per year tax credit or a $6,000 per year tax credit for anybody that's filing single or an individual. Now, the payments could come back as a monthly payment, but that will be something that will be in negotiation. So we will see, and as I know more about that, I promise I will fill you in on all those details. But what we know is at the end of the year, they would show up as a fully refundable tax credit at the end of this year or the end of next year, whatever. So this means that you would have to make at least $7,540 per year in order to even qualify for this. Now, some are saying that what if they don't make $7,540? Well, the way that this plan was laid out is if you even made $1 less, so you made $7,539, you wouldn't qualify for this. That would be a big hit. So that is one of the reasons why this plan is actually incentivizing people to not collect unemployment, is to actually go get a job, because if you factor out how many hours you have to work at $7.25 per hour, which is the federal minimum wage currently, which again they're fighting for that as well, for an increase there, but you would have to work 20 hours per week on average at $7.25 per hour in order to make $7,540 at the end of this year. So it's actually doable. It's fairly easy. And the reports are saying that right now, this would be something that would entice the American people to get back to work. The issue is some people aren't hiring. Some businesses will not hire again because they're either closed down or they just realize, I don't need all those workers. I'm doing just fine with 50% of my staff. So that's the other issue there. But right now, yes, Republicans are trying to entice the American people to get back to work. Democrats say this is not right. We should just stick to the child tax credit. Well, here's the good thing about that. The parent tax credit does not impact the child tax credit. It's actually in addition to that, which means right now, you would get, as a couple, you'd get $12,000 at the end of the year. As an individual, you would get $6,000 at the end of the year. And if you have children, guess what? As of right now, it is said that you would get $2,000 per child. But in 2021, if this were to pass, okay, if this parent tax credit were to pass now, then you would not only get this for 2021, you would also get $3,000 for any child between the ages of 6 and 17, and $3,600 per child between the ages of 0 and 5. So right now, you could get, let's say you have 2 children. Let's say one is 2 and the other one is 4. You have 2 children. That means you would actually get $7,200 in a child tax credit. Plus, you add that to the $12,000, you would get $19,200 because you are a parent. You get that $1,000, or you're a couple, you'd get that $1,000 per month or $12,000 per year. And on top of that, you'd get $3,600 for each child because you had 2. So you'd almost get $20,000 in additional relief because of these additional credits. This is where some are saying that this is huge. For parents, this is still going to provide you with additional relief. For people that don't have children, this is only going to, according to reports, will entice you to have children or adopt or figure out a way to, start a family. Because right now, Democrats, Republicans, Congress is pretty much giving additional relief to people that have families. Because they say, this is them, not me, that families actually contribute more to the economy than an individual actually does. So whether that's true or not, don't bash me. That's what the reports are saying. So in a news release, again, now, one thing I just want to say is some are calling this a win-win, but many as of right now want to know just how it's going to be paid. And this is what reports aren't indicating. But again, as we know more information on this, I promise I will fill you in on all those details. But this is good news because for the past couple of weeks, anytime I report that, hey, the child tax credit is getting closer, the IRS is talking about it, and we could potentially see this $3,600 child tax credit within the month of July, we could see the payments, and everybody is on me like, hey, well, what about us? What about people on Social Security and those that are individuals that don't have any children? Guess what? They are working on that. Okay, so that's the good news and I'm all for it. I'm all for not only providing for people with children. I have 3 children. I'd love to just make sure they are provided for. Not like that I'd be getting this, but or maybe I would. I have no idea based on the reports. But what I want you to understand is, for me, it's all about taking care of my children. Me personally, I want to take care of my children. But I also understand I don't just want to take care of my children, but when my parents or grandparents and friends and family that are older, they need to be taken care of as well, because they're elderly, they're on Social Security, they need additional relief. The individuals that are single, paying for a very expensive apartment, they need additional relief as well. So this pandemic it should not be just catering to one set group of people like parents. It should pretty much go to everybody, and that's what a stimulus check has been doing for some time. So as of right now, is a 4th stimulus check still possible? It is, but in the context of we need to figure out a different way to kind of push this in front of not only Democrats but the Biden administration, President Biden himself, because as of right now, saying we need additional stimulus check isn't working, because some centrist Democrats say we just got one. This is why this parent tax credit is such a big deal. Now, the other thing I just want to address, what Josh Hawley, he said earlier today on a press release. He said, and I quote, "Millions of working people want to start a family and would like to care for their children at home, but current policies do not respect these preferences. American families should be supported no matter how they choose to care for their kids." And this is true. No matter what, whether you are a couple, you are an individual, you separated, we shouldn't be bashing. We shouldn't be, making it harder for couples that are separated or divorced. We shouldn't make it harder on them, which is essentially what the policies are doing at this time. So what I like about this plan is it's showing that Republicans are willing to negotiate for the sake of the American people. And that's one of the things I've been saying we need. So remember, lawmakers want to see or want to include these different provisions into the infrastructure bill. As of right now, the trick that we're seeing is that they're first trying to support, they want to support the infrastructure bill. All lawmakers do, but at the same time, they're seeing there's a gap. We're missing different pieces of legislation, different provisions. And until we start to fill in these gaps, some lawmakers are not going to support anything. So that's what we need to see. Hopefully over this week, we will start to see that. We do know that President Biden, his new plan for the infrastructure bill isn't at $1 trillion or 1.5 like some were saying it was going to balloon up to. It's actually starting out roughly at $1.8 trillion. So this is actually pretty important, because some were saying that they wouldn't support anything over $1 trillion. Like, Republicans, they don't want to see anything over about $1 to $1.5 trillion, but that's including the 2 plans. As of right now, this is just one plan. This is going to push it closer to $4 trillion in infrastructure, which is what I said the other day. Chances are we're going to see something balloon up to about $4 trillion before it's all said and done. But at this time, it's going to start out about $4 trillion. It could go up to about $5 trillion within the next month. So as we know more, I promise I will fill you in all the details. I do expect we will get more additions as we get closer to this bill actually passing or negotiations starting. But again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. If you can, go ahead and hit that like button. It does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.